Well, the Federal, Labor and Liberal Party leaders are being called upon to put their best reform foot forward to win over the three key independents. But how far will they go? The independents and other critics of the political process believe there is now a unique opportunity to shake up what they see as a two-party dominated system that stifles genuine debate. Margot reports.
In the past, they've had to share one slot for a question every few days towards the end of question time. But now the independents have got the umpire's whistle, and not surprisingly, they want to change some of the rules of the game.
One of the things we've done in this country is probably created one of the worst examples of the Westminster system, where it's actually become too confrontationist. And there's an expectation, and even within the media, that it will be the two dogs barking.
The excitement about the possibility of prizing open the iron grip of the two major parties over how politics operates is palpable.
With 1 in 5 voters at this election walking away from the major parties, they're asking for a new form of politics. I think we're on the precipice here of real change.
This is a 1 in 100-year opportunity to get it right in terms of parliamentary reform, in terms of electoral reform, so that the system is there for the people, not for the political parties.
Like question time.
You are a sanctimonious windbag.
In a choice between macho and mincing, I would have gone for macho myself.
The shouts, interjections and abuse, the Dorothy Dix questions and waffling answers seen on the evening news has become a farce, say critics.
Question time is not working. It has become completely dysfunctional.
Appointing an independent speaker, possibly even a retired judge, as well as limiting the length of answers and focusing on relevance, would be a start, some reformers say. But that's just one item on a long list of potential reforms.
1 million Australians didn't vote at this election. It's an extraordinary figure, and if they did, it could have changed the result. So we've got to fix a broken enrolment system.
Taking power back from executive government for Parliament is high on the independents' agenda.
And the great example is conscience votes. They are the best debates and the best points of engagement in Australia today. It is unconscionable that there are so few conscience votes. You know, what does that say when members of Parliament pull out and say, oh, I had to vote on the party line behind closed doors, sorry, I voted this way against either my electorate's or my country's interests? That's a disgrace.
The role of parliamentary committees should be bolstered, and some critics believe Parliament itself should be given more independent resources.
We should consider introducing a parliamentary budget office to get rid of the massive asymmetry that exists between the power of independent MPs, minor party MPs and the opposition against the government, who has the Treasury.
And the big daddy of all, cutting off the big money from the big parties.
We need campaign finance reform in this country. If you give a politician a $1,000 donation, you're a supporter, but if you give them $100,000, then you're an owner of that politician.
But most of these suggestions have been around for years and variously promised in part and then conveniently forgotten by successive governments. Given the cliffhanger election, both leaders have signalled they've become born-again political reformers.
I'm sure there'll be lots of road to Damascus conversions on both sides in the coming days as they grapple with the independents in the lower house, and that's a beautiful thing to behold.
But one of Australia's pioneering independents, Ted Mack, warns that deals can always be broken when independents are no longer needed.
Well, they've got to be very careful because there's many possible loopholes, but whatever they do, I think everything should be done in writing and should be a public document.
Direct negotiations are likely to begin in earnest next week. Margot, Lateline.